Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Justin Herbert, locked in, fired up. Have yourself a game. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, inexpensive way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. And 'tis the season for more Quarterback School content. Hop over there, join, become a member. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Justin Herbert, the Chargers, getting it done versus the Chiefs. Love it. Right here, a little naked keeper. Hit that sneak or slide flat going around to the right, easy completion, makes somebody miss, turns into punt return right. This is just an excellent job. Really nice ball handling here, great play calling, move the launch point, get easy touches. A bunch of different little elements here besides for the tackling on the back end here. This is an outstanding play. I just love the fact that I feel like teams continue to get better and better in this space as far as when we talk about this naked keeper world, under center, ball fake, extend that thing, offhand on the core, come out, try to touch around 10-ish with your depth, get downhill. There's almost always something in the flat, something in the over, and then from a condensed formation, something to the corner. And the thing that I love about it is anytime you can get your fast guys, so no shots fired at the tight ends or potentially fullbacks that often run this sneak or slide flat. When you can get your fast guys out here like this, I just feel like these types of plays that turn into, big chunks down the sideline happen with your perimeter skill players, like your outside speed guys. And so designing plays that allow you to get there by that are just little wrinkles that you can tell go really locked in with intentional design. So early in the game, easy completion, get your guys going on the perimeter, get your speed on the edge, and it turns into a really nice chunk, nice block, big play. Let's go. Next one here. Thought this was just a slight missed opportunity. This is one of those ones where I think when you look back at the film, Justin would probably expect to see the back here as kind of a scramble check down as opposed to kind of a forced, essentially glorified throwaway right on the edge here. And it's one of those things where it's more just a bummer that your eyes don't get back just a little bit more because this is not in structure. This is out of structure. Whatever the design and intent of this play isn't there. You got your guy one coming across here, getting knocked off on the shallow as well. So you don't have a lot of great options here. But as you get out, okay, just follow the back here from the backfield. So as you get out, check down. Now we got to go extend. Our eyes are probably right here where we end up throwing the ball. Also in our vision is probably the back line here. And it's just one of those things where for so long in the quarterback world, it was taught, we don't want to throw back across the field. But sometimes, these things just flash on you. And I feel like we've given quarterbacks a lot more grace. And certainly Herbert has the ability to make these throws back across the field. But this is one of those ones where you're just like, oh, just a slight missed opportunity, And could we hook that up on the front pylon? Sure. Probably. But the throw to the back is certainly easier. So this is not necessarily like, I wouldn't classify this as like a negative play or even expect him to get graded down on this thing. I would just say it's one of those ones where you just try to widen your lens as you get outside the pocket to give yourself all the options. And it's just a bummer. And anytime the back hits you with that almost like double mailbox for a walk-in, just a missed opportunity more than anything else. Next one here, touchdown pass. This is a pretty beautiful job design-wise for me, execution-wise. We've got Johnson coming across from right to left. He's going to end up working the back pylon. I'm going to classify this play as an iteration of traffic mesh. It's not necessarily the traditional version of traffic mesh, but probably trying to get the back in the flat. If not, I think you could classify Johnson's route as either, almost like a shallow spike. But I think this just, does a great job of showcasing Herbert's not only arm strength, normal vision, But this idea being that, man, he just makes some of these throws that are really tough look really easy. So here we move the back. We're then going to come out, and this is usually 1 in mesh traffic. Now, normally I would say, you're coming across here. Here's the traditional mesh where you would come across here and come underneath this. But when you've got, essentially 3 picks coming this way, you've got options here design-wise. So I really like what they do, where I think Johnson is going to come in between the 2 and the 3 here. He's going to, instead of the traditional mesh where you would come across this way, he's going to almost spike that thing to the back pylon. So that's the nice little cool wrinkle part of it. You're going to get some friendly fire up top here with, I think, the near backer. So we're going to get these guys running into each other. And then if that wasn't there, you've got Ladd on the back line. So you've kind of got this nice little 1, 2, 3. If you've got enough time in a condensed formation, you don't get zeroed up to make this play happen. So I just love the design, excellent execution. Again, Herbert makes it look easy. Watch the friendly fire up top. Whoop! And got him. But there's a lot of moving parts here. You've got guys crossing every way possible. Herbert does a nice job climbing up in the pocket. Again, monster of a dude, makes those throws look easy, like he's throwing over like bar stools. This is nothing easy about this as far as tight red zone, 3rd down, crossing. What am I looking at? Could you throw it to the back? Probably. Ends up working out. Great. And it looks like he actually goes his left, his right, back to his left. And again, you can see the friendly fire here. Whoop! Great vision. Easy. Not easy, but makes it look easy. Wow. Next one here, big play action. We're going to hit the inline tight end down here at the bottom. I'm going to call this just a traditional cross. It's got some leaky vibes to it. It ends up being a huge chunk. Nice job making sure we retain possession as well there at the end, penalty or not. But this is an interesting way. I don't think you could think, oh, we're going to have this thing pop this wide open. But the way that they use the fullback here, I think probably puts a lot of stress on the defensive back end. Now, no doubt about it, someone has a missed assignment. So however they sort this thing out up top, so I think we run to the deep pylon or flag. We just get a little bubble here. It sure looks like they're matching this or playing some iteration of man. So we're going with it. We're going with it. That being said, whatever they're trying to do here on the front side, so DB types, linebacker types, however we're sorting out who's who in the zoo here as far as he's got, I'll call it a crosser. He kind of gets jacked here, so it looks a little leaky. But someone probably should be running with him. And the thing I like about it offensively here is that because of this, call it fullback action coming across, this hard run action at you, you got to say who's who in the zoo. Is this guy the 1? Is he the 2? Is the backer's responsibility because he's crossing? You're just putting a lot of stress on a defense, and you have that hard run action right at the second level of the defense. So it's downhill. You got the guard coming. We got a fit power. Nope. We also move the launch point just a little bit, buy some time, and that's wide open. So anytime you see guys pop like that, I always think it's outstanding offensive architecture, design, scheme. And then you got to play call, you got to execute, you got to do all those things. But this is the NFL. First week or not, Southern Hemisphere or not, that's wide open, big play. Let's go. This next one is a laugher, man. This is just a like Herbert-esque throw. We're going to throw a corner up top to your boy, Wheels, and he drops it in the bucket. This is a dot. Now, I don't care that we get the end zone film here from the moon, but this is an absolute laser. Can't catch it for him, coach. No idea, how he even necessarily sees this, because this thing looks like we're probably trying to work whatever that is. We've got this thing attacking the middle of the field. Anytime you get them carrying the vertical of number 2 here like this, you probably think this is going to be a pretty good opportunity for space in here. Whatever. They cover it up. We don't like it. He comes back and slows us open over here on the corner. This is a this is a perfect throw. I can't tell you how difficult it is to go, let's just say 1 over here. So whatever, this side 1. To go backside corner 2 on the sideline versus a cloud corner up top as well. This is just a ridiculous throw. He seemingly has these every game, y'all. It just comes out on a string. So no down here to the bottom. I get no. Up top. It's almost like the corner's like, I know you're not throwing it down the field to this guy. No, I am. And it's, meow. Damn, catch the ball. That was such a good throw. That was such a good throw. Oh my God. No. I mean, come on. Next one here, another really cool play action design. We're going to get a version of what I'd call flood down here to the bottom to the boundary. We're going to rip that intermediate kind of sail corner route. Now, this is from the backfield, from the fullback type. He's going to exit in the B gap. The deep route even gets knocked off his route. It doesn't matter. Again, from the moon here, end zone wise, you can still see this thing is beautiful. So what I'm saying is this flood version is we're going to get the deep flag or pylon. We're going to get that more traditional corner sail, but he's going to exit through the B gap. And so you can see all these layers. It doesn't really matter how you get there as long as you've got that deep, intermediate, and kind of short outlet flat. And this is just it really is. It's a beautiful design out of a condensed, heavy run look, play action, rhythm, great base, and then he just lasers that thing right on the body on the break. It's just he makes these throws down the field, these drive throws look so effortless. And you can see the stress that it puts on the defense, right? So you've got the second level, we got run at you. No, he drives the flat. It creates this huge hole here. And again, even with the vertical route getting knocked off, it doesn't matter. We can still drive that ball up and down before the sideline. Awesome. Next one here, nice little third down conversion. Not a great throw to the number 2 down here to the bottom. Your boy Ladd. It's a hell of a catch. It really is a nice job. There were some really nice third down conversions here. What I'm used to calling just an iteration of triple slant. But you catch middle field closed, outside leverage on the number 2. These are essentially gifts. So what I'm saying here is inside slant usually happens a little quicker. This is more traditionally a 3-step or 5-step slant. And this is really where the ball's intended to go most of the time. It's usually paired with like a short in on the backside. Yeah, you can see your boy here doing what he needs to do to get open on a 5-yard in with the double move. I mean, it gets there. It just starts your clock. Boom, on him. And again, really nice catch. Double move, 5-yard in. He's open though. Great catch, nice third down conversion. Again, you can see here, middle field closed from the slot. Usually, if you're inside the divider, you're going to get outside leverage. There it is, off. That's too easy. Thank you very much. First down. Next one here, we're going to hit Ladd down here on the bottom on the little crosser. Big play action again. Again, wide open. No one around us by 5+ yards. Another another really nice schemed up play call design. Take a big shot down the field. Who knows what's going on coverage wise here, but that's as open usually as you'll see. Just a nice easy pitch and catch for, again, another really big explosive throw. They had some nice easy-ish explosive throws. So what's going on here? Again, the vertical, whether this is a traditional post, corner, flag, deep angle, it really doesn't matter. Here's that crosser coming across. And so when you catch what essentially is an iteration of open, we don't have to know exactly what the call is. If it's a half field player up top, normally I would say you want to be weary of this corner. Oftentimes these are called steak dinner throws. So if this corner picks this off, you got to buy a steak dinner for the quarterback room. If this corner is getting depth, so say this is not quarters, but let's just say it's quarters. Let's say it's palms, 2 read, or he's just getting depth out of there. He's not a factor on the crosser. Usually this safety will be more of a cut cross player. Very rarely, I would say, do you play this thing where he's getting depth, he's in the half field, he's in the half field, and now we've just got essentially no one back here. So they probably get a little confused, don't execute well on the back defensively. But again, play calling, play action. I mean, everybody except Johnson is open here. I mean, we got chunks all over the place. Love me some second down play action. Beautiful big chunk drive throw. Next one here. Got Ladd down here at the bottom going a little double move. This is probably one of the few misses throws he wish he had back. You're almost surprised that he misses it, to be honest with you, how well he's throwing the ball. This is one of those plays where the route beats the corner. You know, your ball has to beat the safety. I personally hate throwing foul balls on these types of throws. You'd love to just rather have it underneath. But again, here's that little double move inside. I will say this throw is harder, in my opinion, because he decides to go inside here. So I would say traditionally you would probably want to go outside here, make this double move, because you want width from the safety. So as soon as you go inside on this double move here, you're just getting yourself closer to the safety. Now you've got to kind of get back out to what a lot of people in the league call the red line, kind of 5 yards from the sideline. But this is a well-designed play. You've got the number 3 running through the middle of the field. You've got 13 being the outlet, slow motion check down. But this is there, everything except the throw. I will just say it's an added level of difficulty because he releases inside, in my opinion. So that release inside pushes you. Now you're catching part of the numbers. Okay, you see the near safety, hold the near safety, and then just I'm not going to say off one throw down the field, the touch issues, but I will just say when I think of Justin Herbert, I think of him as elite arm talent. And I mean by that is normally those are drive throws. Those are, driver ripping that thing. The touch part of it to me here is just one of those things where this is just one missed opportunity. You got hold the near safety. He does. I actually think McConkey does a pretty good job of getting wide. I just think he makes the throw initially hard because he goes inside. But we got to hook that. We can hook that up. Next one here. I joke with my guy 13 down here at the bottom, but this takes some serious courage right here. This is a nice job catching this thing, getting vertical, getting a first down on third medium. This is where he's going to make his money. And this is, to me, is a pick or rub play, and they end up not playing man, so it's not necessarily an ideal or premium pitcher down here to the bottom. I think a lot of teams are starting to run this all the time, really at all levels of football. To me, this is supposed to be a corner. Here's that kind of pick element of it. So he's going to try to get that rub. We're going to try to get the ball here coming underneath on this kind of where the ball goes. And then if that's not there, you've got the pick or rubber coming back in on the return or loop after that. So you've kind of got this natural 1 and then the 2 coming right behind it. But if they're not going to play man, so as you come up here, we're essentially picking on no one. This corner's not running with him. He's just staying out there. And now we've got this second level player inside here. As you run in here, this takes real courage. You got to catch it, and then you got to get vertical and go get us a first down. So I can make jokes about maybe the tempo at which some of these routes happen. But this is big boy football, and that's a big time conversion. Now we got a first down inside the red zone. And again, nothing easy about this as far as being able to catch it, get vertical. And again, you can see the pick or rub here as we come out there. We're not picking or rubbing anybody. And then if it wasn't there, you've got him coming right behind him, kind of replace the space. So cool play, big time courage, first down. Next one here, kind of a missed opportunity. We're going to end up, this is third and long. We're going to end up throwing the go up top, or really, maybe that's supposed to be a double move and it's just a crummy double move. But that's good coverage. That guy's a good football player. I think that there are things that, as you would look at this film coming back to play, even though there's a flag and it wouldn't have mattered, I think that there are a lot of things to like if you're a Chargers offense. So to me here, this is an iteration of the normal play, which is out, like zebra out with drive over here on the backside. And what I mean by that is when I say an iteration of it, it looks like This is supposed to be a double move. So as he comes out here, he kind of gives him something and goes up the field. We're then going to get kind of more of like a Sale or Seattle-ish out there. So this to me is a winner. It just takes a while. This to me is absolutely perfectly executed on what I'm used to calling a burst basic. So he's going to widen out and try to get a pick right here. So as he widens out, he gets a pick, and then that creates this great opportunity for a runaway here. So even though it's 3rd and long, this is probably a first down. This is probably a first down. This is probably forced versus good coverage and not a great route. So, one of those things where super easy, many days later to be critical of the decision making on 3rd down with a marker and a pen. But I think you could also be the judge here. And, first, Ladd does a great job winning at the top. That's open. This is excellent job of getting that friendly fire pick or rub. And you can see all that space coming out the other way. Just a really nice football play besides necessarily the decision, the throw, the execution, the outcome. But you can see the bones of really high-level offense and the potential for that thing to be a great play, money spots. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. I sincerely appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me personally, so thank you for taking the time and subscribing. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out all the courses over at theqbschool.com. Hop over there and enroll. Finally, please make sure to follow me across all the social media platforms. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back to it. This next one here, this is a little scary. This is bad ball, man, on many levels. Like that is a massive hit. This is a massive hit. This is unsafe football. This just looks like we just kind of get lulled to sleep here. And I think the Chiefs, you got to acknowledge the Chiefs do a decent job of hiding this. But if you catch 0 and you have a free runner in the B gap, you have to protect yourself. I mean, this is a monster hit. You do not want to survive hits like this very often in the league. That is an absolute monster. And so what I'm saying here is, at the snap, I don't think very many quarterbacks would say, hey, this looks like 0 to me. So that's what I'm saying. They do a good job of hiding it. Now at the snap, pre-snap doesn't look like 0. Post-snap, this is obviously 0. And so from there, what we have to decide is, where are we hot? It looks like the offensive line is turning what I would say to their left. So they're doing a half turn this way. The back looks like he goes immediately up here. So if this is the back's one responsibility and the line is turning this way and we get hit with this and this, we are going to be hot off technically this player or this player. Someone on this side of the field is going to be hot. So that to me would mean that the ball goes out over here. Now again, that's making the assumption that the back is doing the correct thing. Perhaps the back is supposed to be over here because he's on this side. They know in the huddle. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this guy, and this guy all blitz. The offensive line is going to take 4 and 1 of these. Okay, I got no problem with them taking the mic. The back is going to take 1 of them. Okay, now is the back supposed to go here? The back's supposed to go there? It doesn't really matter. He goes here. So we are hot off this player. He is running free. Now, you might make the argument that you wouldn't be mad if the left tackle protected the B gap, but I also think the left tackle gets paid to block the guy who puts his hand in the ground. But this is unsafe. I mean, that is unsafe. I will also say, just philosophically, and again, this is my issue. It looks like his eyes are over here. So that tells me that this looks like whatever he's trying to do is 1 over here. In that world, I would always want the back protecting the back. I would want to feel secure on the backside. So if we were to be hot, I would want to be hot into the face of that first read. Again, only they know. This is an unsafe football play. It's a kind of like 5-alarm fire for me. This is how people get hurt. It doesn't look like something you would expect from this kind of staff, this kind of player. And I don't think you see hits like this very often in the league. And so it's just kind of one of those things where something happened. You can tell the back is definitely looking to our left here. Like he is not at all looking to the right. And again, maybe the left tackle could protect the B gap, but I think you could easily make the argument that the guy with his hand on the ground is the immediate threat. Jesus Christ. I mean, that is a your neck is still hurting type of hit. Next one here. This is a big time play. Bottom of the screen. I'm going to call this an in. It almost has some glance-ish principles as well. But this is a beautiful job of seeing the near safety, seeing 21, turn his shoulders, and work to our left. So 21 down here, bottom right. Watch him turn to our left, right there, and come back. Boom. I mean, that is on the body, on the break. You know, it's probably a backside in, but how fast he gets there is what I love. And so again, whatever this is supposed to be, it's third and long. We got long. We're trying to get down the field here, running multiple kind of these things. And then we've got this on the backside where he's going to come up, rip this thing, and it's right on the body. And again, I just think it's a really nice job of seeing this player as he gets back there. As soon as he's a non-factor, whether that's a poach, a lurk, a rob, whatever you want to call it, as soon as he becomes playing to the passing strength here, because the offense has 4 eligibles up top here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as he does that, it's on. And Justin is super decisive. And that ball rips out. Again, you know, drive, throw. Whoom. That is really nice. Love the bass, love the rhythm. You know, maybe lowercase a there. I just think it's such a cannon. It doesn't really matter. It's a handoff of a throw, and you better get the first down right there. Next one here, second and medium to long again, and the Chiefs are going to zero us again. This time we're going to double stick down here to the bottom. Keenan Allen does a nice job here of making somebody miss, hand on the ground, good balance, good strength, turns that thing into a little mini chunk. But this is a much better job of Justin Herbert recognizing I'm getting zeroed. This ball is coming out. Now it helps when, you know, the center cannot take an immediate L, but 95 is an amazing player. So those L's are going to happen. But I just appreciate the suddenness that the ball comes out, the ability that the play calling gives us an answer. Because again, I think they do a decent job of, you know, this doesn't look like what I would say the traditional zero looks like. You know, I think of traditional zero as like birds on a fence, where all these guys are at the same level and they are nervous that they're going to get posted. Well, right here, you know, really the only kind of bump matchup is right here. So it's just a really nice job being able to decipher, to see the zero, to get the ball out quickly, and the play calling to have a zero answer. Again, this is just a little double stick. You could throw it to either guy, the 2 or the 3. And it's, again, you know, we can have jokes with 13 about the speed, but you also got to acknowledge the fact that it does a really nice job here. Power, balance, hand on the ground, turn, make that thing into a nice little gain. Next one here, another kind of bit of a laugher of a throw for me, because Herbert just makes these throws look so easy and effortless. There's nothing easy about this. I'm going to assume that the defender, 35, got his paw in there and knocked this ball out, because this is an absolute seed of a throw. Again, on a string, these drive throws, there's, you know, I can't think of anybody who drives it more consistently or better than Justin Herbert does. He just makes it look so easy. These are such hard throws. So we're coming across here. Here's what I'll call that crosser. And again, this thing is on a seed, on a string, right on the hands. It's not bad coverage. I mean, the guy's running right with him. We'll say he makes a play on the ball. The other thing about this play that's kind of a bummer is this route from McConkey. He comes in here, and traditionally, you know, I don't even know, you know, I think that the common play is just double crossers down here. You catch some iteration of man, and you can usually go 1 or 2 or try to pick the guy you like, those types of things. Just watch the creativity here on this stem. It looks like he almost fakes like he's going to go back and then comes back across. If that's part of the route, well, either way, whether that's part of the design or that's him being an artist, it's outstanding. I love all elements of it. So let's watch Lad's route down here to the bottom. So you got that double cross action. That's a traditional action right there. Then watch 15. I mean, the route is so good. It's a bit of a bummer that the coverage has friendly fire, because he's going to set him up and then come back across. And I mean, that you could probably throw it left-handed to him right there if you got back to that part of the read. You know, the thing that kind of stinks about these types of plays is you sometimes put your tight ends or fullback types on islands right here. So on our right here, this is just a big ask. You know, you got to hold that block forever. You know, he probably doesn't have time to get through like a true 1-2 hitch. You know, maybe if he were to climb the pocket like we've seen him do and make, you know, throws on the climb, this would work. But again, I just, a couple of these drops outside the numbers down the field. And again, I don't even know if that's a drop or not. It looks like his left hand is in there. That's a pretty awesome throw. Next one here, touchdown pass, bottom of the screen, number 1, Keenan Allen on the kind of rub corner. Now this is a, you know, probably a Chiefs mistake, missed assignment, mental error, whatever you want to classify it as. You still got to go out there and execute it. You still got to see it. So we're trying to get a rub on 21 on the right to throw McConkey in kind of the flat here on 3rd and short. Well, they try to banjo it, and just the banjo breaks. And what the banjo means is you're going to in and out this defensively. So route-wise down here to the bottom, we're going to come up here and try to pick this and then get out to the corner. So we're probably trying to get the ball right here in here. When I say banjo, I'm meaning these two players are going to in and out this. So he's going to take the first one out, and he's got the second one. Normally it's done from depth. I think it's a little bit harder to do from this, but they're obviously trying to show zero here. So they're putting their guys, personnel in tough spots. So as you come up here, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have this little pick right here for sure. This will be a nice little easy first down. Oh no, they banjo it. This corner stays outside. Now I don't have it. Well, just get through the read. He's wide open because this player just gets confused or is late on the banjo. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't play it well. And so we're just able to go flat, no, corner, yes, touchdown. So pick, there it is. Just this little rub, whoop, and then don't get the match, don't get the banjo on the body. Just outstanding. Great vision. Nice job of not panicking with the initial design not there with that kind of pick in the flat. Just get through the read. And again, you know, these drive throws outside the numbers, they're just easy. Boom. Next one here, 13. Again, the number 2 down here to the bottom. I'm going to call this like a little choice. He comes up. He's essentially uncovered. Just turn around. Again, the little vet savvy moves from Keenan Allen are kind of on display here a few different times in this game, because this route, he kind of keeps his shoulders towards the first down. So as you watch him come out here, he kind of goes fast. You can see him kind of keep his shoulders half turned. So as he catches it, that's not a first down yet. He's got to catch it and get vertical. So that's the type of savviness you're going to get with a guy of this caliber who's done it for this long on third down. And if you can lean into his strengths like this, and if they're essentially not going to cover him on third down, which I can't imagine other teams are going to do it like this, you got to take advantage of it right here. He does a nice job. Get first down. Let's go. Next one here, touchdown pass. Johnson up top in the slot. He's going to be running, you know, what I would call either a special or a crosser. Verse 0. They don't get home. Herbert makes them pay. You know, maybe the back here on a little bit of a soft hold, you know, maybe. I'm not sure what it mattered, to be honest with you, because he's drifting to the right. You know, these guys, Spags and company here, just a little bit too much space, not getting home. You know, I think of 0 as one of those things where you better get home in the NFL, meaning you better get a hit on a quarterback here. If you're going to not blitz everybody, so if we're going to not add on, not green dog here, we're just going to say, hey, our guy is going to try to cover your guy in 0 all the way across the field as our really good quarterback drifts and buys time with nobody over here, it's really hard. It's just really, really hard. And you couple that with they run like a little swap seam here as well, and this thing probably be a touchdown too. So, defensively here, if you're not going to get home with the pressure, you're going to put your back end in all sorts of problems. And again, it sure looks like Herbert knows he's getting zeroed here. He takes a big old kind of Patrick Mahomes-y drop, drift backwards, buy time, drift to the right. And again, that's just a really nice job. Great job having zero answers. Looks like Herbert has a great understanding of it. He knows where he wants to go. Buy some time. Put it right on him. Woo-hoo. Next one here. I think this was a series starting play, a kind of 4-minute offense trying to run out the clock. And we're being aggressive here. We're going to throw it. There's all sorts of nuance and detail that I'm going to be excited to show you here about how this thing works. But they essentially get man coverage and get kind of that, whether this is supposed to be a corner or a flat, it doesn't really matter. This naked keeper, the theatrics here of what's going on with 89 on the right are just outstanding. We're getting pulled here a little bit, but you can see it a little bit better from the wide. But this is just being aggressive. If this isn't there, Herbert's just got to run and get what he can get and stay in bounds. But I love the aggressiveness, and I really like the details, the nuance. So first part here is, as we get to this shift, okay, come across, I want you to pay attention to the tight ends and the theatrics. So watch what he does here as far as tapping his hip, and then he even raises his hand, I think, and goes the full like shaka. What that normally communicates is I'm taking care of this inside gap, or I'm blocking. Well, we'll just call it as I'm blocking. You're usually not doing theatrics like this and then running a route. And so what that does here is the theatrics to me, after the defensive end widens and the corner comes down inside, we go out on the defensive end, and this corner or DB type, he just gets his eyes back in there because he saw the theatrics too. And then we go slip out here and it's there. So again, it's just, this is the type of stuff to me about why watching film is fun and the broadcast. You just can't see stuff like this. So watch the tight end. Tap, 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 tap. Up, up, up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. I'll take the end. I got the end. Don't worry about it. Block. Whoop. Gone. It's awesome. Last one here, just all Justin Herbert and his legs. 3rd and long, going to ice the game. They're essentially playing what I would classify as combo coverage, but Justin Herbert stride out, easy double into second base. This thing is a beautiful slide. Chris Johnson with the win inside. But really, this is more tethered to understanding the coverage here, what's going on in the back end. So whatever sort of bracket, combo, quarters, I don't really care what you call whatever they're playing this like loose bunch up here with. What you need to pay attention to is right here, we're matched up on this. So on this backside in here, they're essentially playing 2-man. So as he comes up here, he's going to try to run with him. We've got this half field player. There's nobody over here because we've got 4 strong, right? We've got these 4 eligibles up top. So as soon as this linebacker, this Will, as soon as he works up here, there's nobody for the quarterback. And again, really good football player. He comes up, he works his inside move. There's nobody in the C gap. And so we're just able to turn this thing into punt return right. And that is an easy slide walk-off winner. I just love it. So again, watch the coverage down here. You can see the inside leverage. We'll call it 2-man-ish. Okay. Watch what that does to the Will. So he's matching to the back, right? So there's nobody over here for the quarterback. So he does a nice job feeling it, and then he's just that good of an athlete to stride out and go take this thing. Well done. Big win. Big, big win, man. This is just a really great job. And again, I feel like defense coordinators sometimes just lose their minds about these guys can all run like this nowadays. So that is a wrap. Justin Herbert in Brazil against the Chiefs, week 1. At this point, I personally am not surprised when I see Justin Herbert makes these crazy drive throws. It really is just kind of like, it brings a smile to my face. They're so difficult to do, and he makes them look so easy. And he seemingly has a throw or throws in every game where I just kind of shake my head, and there are only a handful of people that I think, even attempt these throws, and he seemingly does it all the time. Now, was it perfect? you know, it was pretty close. It really was. There were maybe a couple touch throws down the field that he either missed or were kind of muddy reads that other things were there. But I think if you're a Charger fan, if you're a Herbert fan, you're obviously really fired up. I think if you're a Charger fan or an offensive fan, I'm a little more fired up than I maybe would have thought, just because I think this offense looks like it's one of those things that not only is it sustainable, but it's kind of looked a little fun to watch. Like, we're popping guys open. We've got some creative play action elements. We've certainly got the drive throws, but it's all those things kind of coming together that made this film a really fun one to watch. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.